A major political storm is brewing between the United States and South Africa. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that he will cut off all future funding to South Africa over allegations that the government is confiscating land and discriminating against certain groups of people. But what's really happening? Let's break it down. Welcome to Candid Conversations. My name is Bonal. On Sunday, Trump took to his social media platform and declared that the U.S. would halt all funding to South Africa until a full investigation into land seizures was completed. He followed up with a strong statement to reporters claiming, quote, South Africa's leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things, but
so you said that you were going to cut aid from South Africa. Will you plan to cut aid across other African nations, and why South Africa?
No, it's only South Africa. Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination, and until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa is pushing back. Ramaphosa took to X, formerly Twitter, to set the record straight. He stated South Africa is a constitutional democracy that is deeply rooted in the rule of law, justice and equality. The South African government has not confiscated any land. He also clarified that the U.S. funding to South Africa primarily supports HIV and AIDS relief through the PEPFAR program, which accounts for about 17% of the country's HIV and AIDS budget. At the heart of this controversy is South Africa's new land expropriation law signed by Ramaphosa last month. The law allows land to be seized without compensation under specific conditions, such as when land is abandoned, poses a safety risk, or is not used for economic purposes. The law aims to address the long-standing issue of land ownership, which has been a point of tension for over a century. To understand why land reform is so important, we have to go back in history. In 1913, South Africa's Natives Land Act stripped the black majority of their land, leaving the white minority in control of vast farmland. Even after apartheid ended in 1994, land ownership remained overwhelmingly white. The government's previous attempt to redistribute land under a willing seller, willing buyers model would have been slow and largely ineffective. Critics of the new law, including billionaire Elon Musk, have voiced their concerns that it discriminates against white farmers. Musk, who was born in South Africa and is now an advisor to Trump, publicly asked Ramaphosa, why do you have openly racist ownership law? Some fear that the law could destabilize South Africa's economy, similar to what happened in Zimbabwe in the early 2000s, when land seizures led to economic collapse and hyperinflation. South Africa's response to Trump's threats could have global economic consequences. Mineral Resources Minister Gwede Mantashe has suggested that if the U.S. cuts funding, South Africa could retaliate by withholding its exports of critical minerals, including platinum, iron, and manganese. This could shake up global supply chains and impact industries that rely heavily on these resources.
With this standing threat that, because you passed an exploration act, therefore Trump would withhold funding to South Africa. And they said, let's not mobilize Africa. Let's withhold minerals to U.S. That is it. If they don't give us money, let's not give them minerals. But the reality is they take our minerals, but say why we're throwing funding. No, we have minerals in the continent, and therefore we have something that we have. We're not just beggars, but we must just use that endowment for our benefit as a continent. But if as a continent we are frightened, we fear everything, we are going to collapse, and will collapse with minerals at our doorstep. So my appeal is that Africa is the world's richest mining jurisdiction.
With Trump doubling down on his threats and South Africa standing firm, tensions are rising. Could this be the beginning of a major trade war? Will South Africa's new land create economic turmoil, or will it finally address historical injustices? One thing is certain, the story is far from over. What do you think? Is Trump right for cutting funding? Will South Africa's land reform help or hurt the country? Drop your thoughts in the comment sections below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to more deep dives into global affairs. Bye for now.